What's up? Lucat here. Today I'm going to be talking about how to draw whatever you want. So I have a little time lapse going beside me of drawing I did on the iPad that really was just drawing whatever I wanted at the time. I did it yesterday and yeah, so it'll be a bit of a just process. You'll just be seeing how things are being laid out, and I'll talk about some insight or advice or just sharing about my journey drawing myself. So where I've been at recently is basically where I've been at in my other videos. I'm currently practicing as much as I can to become a better artist in general. I spend a lot of time drawing and painting. Outside of that, I just basically eat, sleep, exercise, and do everything I can in my power to stay balanced while spending as much, time in the day drawing. I basically spend a regular, 9 to 5 workday drawing basically, but I might start at 10 and then go till I might not finish drawing until 12 a.m. and then I go right to bed. But the most important thing I think about drawing what you want, the first step, because I usually think about these things in steps, is to do it. Now that's stupid. I know a lot of people will say like, just do it, blah, blah, blah. But really, I think a lot of people don't do the thing that they want to do when they could at least try. So the first step is trying, and that way you have a benchmark for yourself. So if you want to draw something, you want to draw a cool character, or you want to draw a creepy monster, or you want to express your feelings, or draw anime, or make huge epic paintings or designs, the first thing you should do, in my opinion, is try your best at whatever stage you're at, wherever you're at in your journey, you're learning, you're already professional, you're just starting out. Just try to do whatever you want, because it'll make it much easier to see what you need to work on in order to get what you want. And it's all about you. I think art and the practice of art should really be a personal centered expression, much like that of writing. I think personal expression is number one. Whatever somebody wants to express is important. Now, when it comes to how do you actually get there after, once you've done that first step? Well, I'll talk about it. Okay, hopefully I haven't moved the camera too much. I'm just making sure the audio is fine in the last part. But so how do you make that second step? What's the second step? After you've figured out, okay, I want to draw really cool concepts. Let's take it, my example for me, I just wanted to be able to express myself personally. So however I feel, or whatever I feel like doing, if I'm in the mood for a cool fantasy landscape with characters battling, that I'd be able to do it. So then how do you then go from wherever you started, which for me was very, very rough, to something where you're able to just completely be in control of your canvas or what your pad, whatever you're drawing on? I think the first thing is to break down what the most practical and the most helpful skill to learn that would allow you to do as much, like get as close as you can to that thing that you really want to do. So for example, for me, in my expression, what I wanted to express changes very often. So it wouldn't have made as much sense for me to study like specifically how to draw certain anatomy or like a specific armor, as much as I really needed to learn about like what is drawing. what are the different ways you can put pencil to paper, or what are the different ways you can visually communicate. So the first and most important thing to me was learning the basic fundamentals of visual communication in the styles that I wanted to work in. So most of that is sometimes like semi-realism or stylized, but with something holding it down to reality. So representational art, but imaginative representational art. And learning about the fundamentals of visual communication. So how to do line work, how to do value and shading, how to draw the figure, how to draw landscapes, things like perspective. You start to build a repertoire of these things, but these elements, this is what people usually start to call the fundamentals. That builds up what I would say is maybe 70% of the way from you not being where you want to where you want to go, is like the most pivotal and sometimes boring parts of the discipline that you're doing. But they are so important that you'll find, and what I found is when I'm trying to do what I want, but I'm not succeeding, it's mostly because I'm just lacking in one of those areas, those really huge fundamentals that gets you 70% of the way there. And then we can go into the 30%, but I really do think that is really important. I think a plane's flying overhead, so I'm going to stop talking for a second. Okay, so that is the most important thing. So how do you get to where you want? Identify the most basic or fundamental aspects of what you imagine might help you get there. So for me, I had to first do benchmarks. So I did a bunch of like drawings, just like I was like, all right, I want to do concept art and illustration. So I'm just going to do it. And I did it, and it was, looking like crap. So I was like, okay, what do I need to understand? Form, anatomy, perspective, value, color, and so on, style, specific elements of certain styles that I enjoyed looking at, that I wanted to sort of be able to recreate. And then past that, once I started to get better at doing my own expression and doing my own art, I basically just was like, okay, now I understand that's what's important. So I'm going to go off and experiment. And so that is for me is the other 30%. And it's sort of a cycle where you have this 70% of like this fundamental learning, or these things that do the most work for your, like the improvement towards your goal, whatever you want to draw. And then that 30% really is that pushing it, using that foundation, and then pushing it past its limits, trying out something new, daring to do a process that you've never seen anybody else do, or connecting some dot and being like, well, I saw this artist take this collage method and be able to create really cool designs for sci-fi. Am I able to do this collage method if I just want to do a specific fantasy character? And then you do that method and you're like, oh, wow, I know how to draw better in a different way. So that is a big game changer once I realized that. And then it's just a cycle. So like every time you learn whatever is most fundamental to getting you to where you want to go, you do that like 70% of the work, just, drawing a bunch, studying, learning about anatomy, a lot of specific stuff. Then once you start to feel comfortable, or you feel like you're turning your wheels, do experimentation, do a bunch of drawings, paintings, explorations into that thing you want to accomplish. And then, hey, you have another benchmark. You probably have a bunch of benchmarks. So you can look at each of them and be like, okay, is this closer to what I want? Or did I find something new to want that like, oh, now I want to do this? It all depends how much time you have at the end of the day. That's really what it comes down to. But that is my method, and it's led me to drawing things I didn't think I ever would. And it's also led me to, really, really cool discoveries that I felt like I made, with things that I learned, and then a lot just experimenting. So that's it for this video. That's it for how to draw what you want. The drawing is probably done by now. I've yapped enough, but thank you for watching, and I will be making more videos. Leave a comment about what you want to know what you liked about what I've said. If you liked anything, thank you. Peace. Bye 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 bye. Yeah, that plane just flew right over my house. No respect at all. They should pay me to fly over where I live. I didn't buy this house. Anyway.